we shall continue with our inquiry on the issue on illegal drugs. If you recall, we started in the Committee on Dangerous Drugs in October of last year, 2023. We investigated the illegal drugs seized in a warehouse in Mexico, Pampanga, which turned out to be owned by Empire 999, a corporation owned by Chinese nationals who pretended to be Filipinos. When the hearing started, they all disappeared. Records show that the main players have gone back to China using their real passports and identities. To date, Quadcom has initiated forfeiture proceedings of all their assets here in the country through the Office of the Solicitor General. The Quadcom now discovered that it was but the tip of the iceberg. Empire 999 is not alone in this illegal activity. Other corporations may have been formed to cover or mask this activity, as evidenced by their interlocking sets of incorporators, all the way leading to personalities who are long suspected of illegal drug activities, namely Lin Wei-Xiong and Mr. Michael Yang, the former economic advisor of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. This discovery led us back into the past. Witnesses now claim that powerful people associated with these two Chinese have facilitated the entry of illegal drugs into the country during the past administration. We have invited all these personalities today so we may know whether or not they have any involvement in illegal drugs, and we shall listen to their side later. We shall also resume the hearing on the extrajudicial killings that took the lives of more than 20,000 people during the past administration's war on drugs. In our past hearings, names were mentioned, admissions were made, witnesses and resource persons appeared, questioned, vetted, and tested. Forced admissions in any way was never part of Quadcom. We may not have extracted yet the information fully from them, but we never put words in their mouths. Whatever testimonies and affidavits they presented before the Quadcom were given by them freely and voluntarily. We may be accused of providing entertainment and likened to a gag show, but who is laughing? On the contrary, the one who said that must be so full of himself that he didn't notice that the joke was on him. We are not here to pin down nor exonerate anyone. All we wanted was to know the truth, the same truth that the people have been longing for, most especially by the families of murder victims and the victims who survived. We intend to use these truths in crafting legislation, some of which we have already filed, as well as make recommendations to any agency to plug loopholes in their systems, if any is discovered. If along the way, people are found to be liable, it is our duty to make sure that justice is served. There is nothing funny about it. We only mean serious business. We have reached this point because in the course of the investigation, we found very disturbing facts and questions needing answers. We owe it to the people. As public servants, we pledge loyalty to them. They trusted us and voted us in office. We serve them. We will not use the Quadcom to exonerate ourselves and proclaim our innocence in the face of overwhelming evidence. Now, if I may, I invite all of you to look at the screen and see the inconvenient truth. These numbers are from the official PNP reports as published both then and recently, last October 21, and not just made-up stories by the Quadcom. Ikumpara po natin ang unang 2 taon ng Duterte at BBM administration. Tingnan po natin ang total ng krimen o tinatawag na index crime volume. Sa unang 2 taon po ng Duterte administration ay nakapagtala ito ng 217,830 na krimen. Samantalang sa parehong panahon naman sa BBM administration, ang krimen ay bumaba ng napakalaki. 83,059 o nangangalugan na pagbawas ng 61.87% sa index crimes. Any claim to the contrary is but a figment of the imagination and if not, a propaganda. Pangalawa, tingnan po natin mula July 2016 to December 2017 ay may mga namatay o pinatay na 4,354 sa mga police anti-illegal drug operations, habang 16,000 naman at 355 naman ang pinatay na mga riding in tandem at mga di pa nakikilalang mga salarin. Noong 2018, inilagay ng PNP sa kategoryang HCUI or Homicide Cases Under Investigation na umabot sa talang 23,327. Samantala, mula July 2022 hanggang katapusan ng 2023, ang bilang ng mga napatay sa mga legitimate police anti-illegal drugs operations ay 73 lamang po. Pangatlo, may kabuuan na 115,435 na anti-drug operations na nakalikom lamang ng 3,294,44 kilos ng shabu na nagkakahalaga ng 18.43 billion pesos sa unang 2 taon ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, habang sa mas kakaunting anti-illegal drug operations lamang sa parehong panahon sa BBM administration ay 84,676, subalit nakalikom na mas maraming shabu na umaabot sa 6,481.16 kilos. The anti-drug campaigns under former President Rodrigo Duterte from July 2016 to July 2018 and the current President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. from July 22 to early 2024 represent contrasting approaches in tackling illegal drugs and the crime in the Philippines. While both administrations aim to reduce drug-related crimes, their methods and resulting outcomes reflect significant strategic and operational differences. Here is a detailed comparison of the first 2 years of the administration's campaign. As has been shown earlier, ang numero po ay hindi po nagsisinungaling. Ito po ay galing sa Philippine National Police. Duterte's anti-drug campaign was characterized by an aggressive, highly visible approach involving frequent operations and a high fatality count. His administration focused on eradicating drug activity at all levels, which led to widespread arrests and significant drops in crime, but also raised concerns over human rights and due process. In contrast, the Marcos administration appears to have adopted a more refined approach, with an emphasis on improved crime-solving rates and efficiency in enforcement. The significantly lower number of fatalities coupled with large drug seizures and high-value arrests suggests a strategic pivot towards disrupting drug networks through focused, intelligence-driven operations. This approach may reflect a more sustainable model aiming to dismantle supply chains rather than focusing on sheer arrest numbers or area saturation tactics. In conclusion, both administrations achieved reductions in crime and drug-related offenses, but the Duterte administration's approach was more intensive and controversial, with high casualties and widespread operations. The Marcos administration has made efforts to continue the campaign with fewer fatalities, a higher concentration on strategic arrests, and increased operational efficiency, suggesting a potential shift towards a more systematic and less violent anti-illegal drugs approach. The numbers mentioned above are real numbers. Sa totoo lang po, hindi namin alam ang mga tunay na pangyayari sa likod ng mga numerong ito hanggang nag-umpisa ang ating investigasyon. Ang sinabi na ating lahat na kwento ay ang karamihan ng mga pinatay ay kagagawan ng mga vigilantes na hindi pa nakikilala, habang ang mga natitira ay biktima naman ng legitimate police operations kung saan ang mga pinatay ay sinabing ng laban. Sa mga testimonyang malayang ipinahayag sa ating mga pandinig, ay naipakita na marahil dito ay bunga ng pamamaslang ng mga operatiba o pulis na inutusang pilitin ang mga nahuhuli na manlaban upang tuluyan na silang mapatay. Sa pahayag ng dating Pangulong Duterte sa Senado, sinabi niya na totoong sinabihan niya ang kapulisan na mag-encourage o himukin ang mga suspects na lumaban upang patayin na sila at nang sa gayon ay matapos na ang problema. Mas nakakagimbal ang mga pahayag na may pabuya o reward ang mga operatiba o operatibang makakapatay ng mga nasa listahan ng drug personalities. Hindi ito maikakaila sapagkat marami na ang nagsabi, kabilang na si dating Special Assistant to the President na ngayon ay Senador Bongo, sa kanya mga interviews noon, kasagsagan ng war on drugs. Ang pangakong pabuya ang malamang na naging dahilan ng paglobo ng dami ng pinatay. Without validation of the so-called narco-lists, names may be added at will, whether or not the person is a drug personality, as in the case of General Wesley Barayuga, whose name was added to the list way after he was killed. May mga nagsasabi na maganda ang mga naganap na patayan sapagkat mga drug lords naman po ang napatay o ang mga adik na kriminal. Subalit sa aming investigasyon, lumalabas na may mga ibang drug lords nga na napatay, subalit iilan lamang, samantalang madaming mga malalaking drug lords ang nagpatuloy sa kanilang gawain at naprotektahan pa ng gobyerno at nabigyan pa ng titulo imbis na maimbestigahan. Libo-libo ang mga pinatay na mga tricycle drivers, homeless na nasa kariton, construction workers, at mga ordinaryong tao na halos wala nang ang makain at walang laban, mga taong napagtripan na lamang. Ito ba ang mga drug lords? Pangkain nga, wala sila. Pangdroga pa kaya? Mga batang inosente gaya ni Kian de los Santos, basta na konsunadahan ka, delikado ka na. Lahat ng patay may rewas. Sino ba ang ayaw maging ligtas ang ating mga lansangan sa mga masasamang elemento? Subalit kung ang mga pinalit sa mga masasamang elementong ito ay mga otoridad na naghahanap buhay, mas nakakatakot maglakad sa lansangan at baka masama ka sa missing persons or unsolved homicide cases. Ipagpalagay na natin na mga adik ang ibang pinatay. Bakit pa tayo naglaan ng daang-daang milyon sa pagtatayo ng mga drug rehab centers kung papatayin din lamang natin sila? Ito ba ang dahilan kung bakit hindi nagamit ng full capacity or in full capacity yung ating mega rehabilitation center na nandoon sa Nueva Ecija? Pag drug addict ka ba, wala ka ng karapatang mabuhay dahil wala ka ng silbi sa buhay? Ang mga pinatay ay mga tatay, nanay, anak, kapatid, apo, mga miyembro ng pamilya na may mga nagmamahal. Napakinggan natin dito ang kanilang mga naulila. Sila'y kaawa-awa at kalunos-lunos. It is really sad that human lives were lost and wasted just to prove a point that we are against illegal drugs. The right to life is paramount as it is God-given and precedes all other human rights. Without life, there can be no rights. Quadcom will not sit idly by in the face of all these discoveries. We intend to get to the bottom of all these issues fairly, honestly, and truthfully. Hiningi po namin ang inyong buong pagtitiwala. Hindi po kami nag-aakusa lamang dahil sa politika o ano paman. Kayo po ang humusga. Inilalatag lamang namin ang aming mga impormasyon at katotohanan base sa mga salaysay, tunay na pangyayari at mga dokumentong nakalap sa aming mga pag-iimbestiga. Patuloy po naming babantayan at sisiya sa atin ang mga aligasyon, akusasyon at impormasyon para mapangalagaan ang ating bayan. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.